Hey, Coach, how you doing?
What's up, guys?
Coach, I wonder if you believe in such a thing as statement games, and if so, what kind of statement do you think last night delivered to the rest of the NFL and to I guess to the nation as a whole about this team?
Yeah, I think just obviously having an opportunity to play on prime time is definitely something that you want more of as an organization, as a team. You want to be able to play in those moments and have those stages to perform. You know, we're really not as concerned about the rest of the league in terms of how they view us or we obviously want respect but that's ours to take and you want to have pride in what you do as a team, as an individual, as a coach, as a player, as a staff member. You want to have pride in what you do. And ultimately, I think when you go out and win those type of games, you can have pride in how you walk and how you talk and how you parent and how you father and how you do everything. You have pride in what you're doing. I think our players right now have confidence. There's still a lot to clean up, but there's a lot of confidence in this building right now.
Okay, and do you have anything on Brenton Strange and Robert Hainsey?
I have not gotten any updates fully yet because we had a little bit of a later morning. I don't have any injury updates as of right now.
Thank you.
Jamal, followed by Ryan.
Coach, the fire Trevor Lawrence showed during the game last night. I know you've mentioned it before. I mean, how much do you like to see that from your quarterback?
Yeah, I love it. He's so calm, cool for the most part. He very much lives in this kind of level world, and I appreciate that as well. But to see him extending plays, using his legs, competing the way he was competing was the thing that I was very impressed with Trevor last night. To really, you talk about competitive greatness. We talk about competitive greatness all the time, and competitive greatness is being your best when your best is required. And regardless of what has happened, you've thrown for 400, you've thrown for 100, it doesn't matter. Being your best when your best is required, and in a 2-minute drill to go win the game, he makes arguably two of his best throws of the game to BT and Diami to put us in a position to go score. And obviously, the funky play at the end, but he was he willed himself. He willed himself to get into the end zone. He did it all night using his legs, playing hard, playing tough, showing some fire. I think our players did feed off that and was really proud of the way he competed.
And you talked about the toughness and competitiveness of this team. How much of that, I mean, goes back to what you're trying to build, and I mean, back to those off-season workouts?
Yeah, I think it started right away. Our off-season strength conditioning program was difficult, was hard. Eric Ciano and his staff have really done a nice job of kind of helping build the foundation of the way and style in which we want to play. We had a really physical, tough training camp, I think, and the guys just kept building off that and really pouring into that mindset. And then it showed up so far within the first 5 weeks of the season. Yeah, we've got to play a lot cleaner. We've got to cut down on mistakes in communication and some of that stuff. But the toughness, the grit, it's just the way these guys are playing right now. When you play this way, typically good things happen to you. Like when you run to the football, when you compete your tail off. Not every play we know is perfect in the NFL. It's not always just the way you draw it up on the book. Guys have to go out and perform and do it at a high level. And right now, the way that our guys are playing in all three phases allows us to go give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Ryan, followed by Mark.
Hey, Liam, got two for you. First one, going back to start his practice. What did Trayvon Walker tell you guys about how the club felt and maybe expectations for him moving forward this week?
Yeah, I mean, he had some swelling still, in there, so it just wasn't the right time. He was only 7 days, whatever it was, 7 days out of the surgery, so it wasn't something that any of us felt comfortable being able to go put him out there last night. Not sure what that'll look like this week yet. He was definitely feeling better towards the last night, like towards yesterday. but it just wasn't the right thing to do, putting him in that game so soon. So hopeful, for this week, and we'll have to see what that swelling does. And based on when the stitches can come out, I think some of that will help us
Gotcha.
know what his availability will be.
Sure. And then last for me is, after you win a game and you run into the locker room to meet your team, do you know what you want to say, or is it an out of body experience at that point?
Yeah, I quickly, gather some thoughts with some of the guys before I go in and talk to the team. Last night was one of the weirder ones, just because you're like, the roller coaster of emotions. You had to settle in for a moment, talk to Shane Waldron, Tony Baselli, James, and get a little bit of a grasp on what just occurred. And but yeah, you're really kind of working off raw emotion for the most part. You have a couple points and people that you want to make sure you acknowledge for the games that they played. But a lot of it, yeah, is just kind of raw emotion.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mark followed by D-Rock.
Hey, Liam, I have two as well.
Mhm.
What was the play going to be before Trevor's trip play there? And was it open?
It was a similar concept that we ran against Cincinnati when Diami scored on the first drive of the game, I think it was. So Travis goes in a fly motion to the flat, and we had run crossers against Cincinnati, and we faked crossers and went to the corners. He may have had a chance to throw to one of the guys in the back as on a scramble, but they played zone. We're hoping for man. They played 3 deep, which kind of they had been doing. We were hoping for man or zero, which, that was kind of been his identity in some ways. He played cover 3. It might have been a chance to find one of the guys in the back of the end zones or just throw it away and play the next snap. But man, I mean, he trips twice, literally. So, I mean, twice. And I feel like they kind of lost him, right? Like it's almost like what happened when he goes down and they don't see him and he goes out the back door and just makes an unbelievable play. And so, but it's really that you want to finish that game with a well-executed play, right? That's what you want as a coach. But as a player, or for us moving forward to know, well, shoot, yeah, that was wild, but at least he took it in his own hands. Like,
Sure.
he took it upon himself to go and fix a wrong, if you will, right? Not make a negative a double negative. He went and made a negative a positive. And that is so much about players, not us, right? Like it shows you that the design truly meant nothing. And he's able to go and make a play, which was huge for us in that moment.
And then the go take it mentality motto, did that was organically come out of Cincinnati game? Like feeling like you guys got robbed there, or was this?
Yeah, it's just like, look, we can't rely on anybody else to come and look for help, right? Like when we're out there, when we're in preparation, when we are getting our minds ready to go play a game in this league, we've been trying to just talk about it. It's about us. It's about us in this room. If you're looking for help, look to the guy next to you, look to the other guys in this room, because it's not going to come elsewhere. And we can't leave it up to anybody else. Whether we win, lose, or draw, we've got to take ownership and accountability for it. We can't put it in anybody else's hands. Don't look for somebody else to go make a play. Don't look for somebody else to bail you out. We got to go take it. And I think that's been something that the players have really voiced and talked about is, they're the ones playing. They're the ones out there. And so they do have to go and take what they want in terms of pride and respect. Thank you.
D-Rock followed by Shipley.
Hey, Liam, Devin Lloyd, maybe more than anybody else, does he sort of embody this franchise's kind of turnaround?
Very much so. Devin has been, I think I said this last week, Devin has been in this building with these defensive coaches, I would say more than any other player in this organization, especially on the defensive side of the ball, since we got here. Like how much he poured into, and the guys, Tem and Campy, have poured into Devin, and Devin has poured into himself, has poured into the coaches. He had a phenomenal summer. He came back in great shape. had a good training camp. And he's been playing with a chip on his shoulder. You know, he's been playing with a chip on his shoulder to prove not just to us and to his teammates, but I'm sure to a lot of other people, but really for himself, for self-respect, for pride. He's a talented player that we know going back to college has been somebody that has always been around the ball, has made plays as a rusher, dropping in coverage, ball skills. I didn't think he had the move, but he has on a few of his interceptions made people miss, and he's got some skills, man. So really proud of Devin because of the time that he has put into this, both individually and with the coaches.
And Jonah comes in after Hainsey gets hurt. What kind of job did he do?
You should have saw on the BT completion down the right sideline. He had Chris Jones one-on-one. And he was holding his own, and LaQuint Allen came in and ended up chipping through, which really also helped it, but he wasn't getting beat. He held his own. He did a nice job. Everybody's got a lot of confidence in Jonah. He's earned it. There really was no flinch. You know, those guys got a couple snaps on the sidelines, communicated. There was no issues with Jonah at all. I don't think that there was anything that you could take away that he hurt us or wasn't ready for the moment or the stage. He's got a lot of respect from the players in this locker room.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Last two, Shipley followed by Mia.
Liam, talking about Jonah and LaQuint, you know, having 2 7th-round rookies out there on a big drive, what does that say about your guys being able to develop and being, you know, willing to let these guys play? And then James scouting, finding 2 guys in the 7th round and go in there and help you.
Yeah, huge. You know, James, I think, and his staff did a really diligent job when it came to our draft preparation with obviously the picks, but also the guys that we were trying to acquire later on, whether it's in the 7th round or in free agency. You know, you got 2 7th-round rookies playing on the last final drive of the game on Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs, and those guys are helping us win. We're not winning in spite of them, which is a pretty cool deal. And I told the staff really going back to the spring, but especially reiterated it when we came back as a staff for training camp, was, guys, we are going to play young players. We're going to play rookies. We're going to play young players, and we cannot be afraid of that. We cannot be afraid to say, we're going to go and we have to live with some of the youth, and some of those mistakes may occur, but we do have an opportunity to mold them and reach them at this moment when they're so impressionable. And sometimes as a coach, you always want to defer to the vet. You always want to defer to the vet because of the experience. It's like no different than high school when you want to defer to the senior and not play the freshman or the sophomore. It's no different. But that being said, when those young guys can step up and help you, they've brought energy to us. They've brought a little swagger to us, and LaQuint specifically. You know, really proud of those guys and the guys that have helped develop them as well.
Thanks, Liam.
Thank you.
Kind of building off of that, Liam, if you could evaluate the pass rush, especially opposite Josh Hines-Allen with Smoot and Agba stepping in. I don't really know did BJ get much run off the edge? And I know Gardick got a little bit of run too opposite Josh.
Yeah, I don't think we were great. You know, I do think we were at times effective. The frustrating thing was we let him get out too many times. You know, I do think that there was some moments like when we were able to pressure him, I think we were able to get a little bit more. But I did think Smoot was active in the rush. I thought he might have got grabbed a few times when he had maybe some clear lanes to the quarterback, or he was going to go make a play. I do think they played their tails off up front. We just didn't really affect him maybe as much as we would have liked to going into the plan. It's a double-edged sword with Mahomes, where you're like, you want to make sure you have vision on him, especially when he was getting some scrambles. And it's hard as a rusher against him because you have to be so disciplined. At times, it takes away from their ability to just go because they have to be so disciplined within their rush lanes and balancing the rush. Sometimes that slows rushers down and actually can be a negative. So when we did blitz him, obviously we got the pick six and we, did cause a little confusion, but he can also spit it and get out of his hand pretty quick against blitz. it's a balance, and I think that those guys are getting better each week.
And then one more from me, just to Travis's usage, the idea of getting him downfield more. Was that a point of emphasis this past week during practice? And knowing full well, and you've been transparent with us in terms of what you guys are putting on his plate, his rookie year, in terms of which wide receiver positions he will play, is that expanding as we progress throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, look, he made some unbelievable plays last night that not a lot of, we just haven't seen a ton of yet. And that play that those two connected on a great catch that Travis made, they literally stayed after practice on, I don't know what even day we are in, but the after our red zone day, our last practice, and they threw that 5 times after practice. 5 times. We missed it, made it, missed it, and just wanted to get it down right. And so, you look at Travis taking the time with Trevor after practice to go and get something right, and then for it to come to life in a huge moment in the game kind of just speaks to what he's kind of doing for us in so many ways. And then being able to make people miss in space, getting them the ball in space is something that he's pretty creative doing. And yeah, we want to keep upping it. I thought BT definitely stepped up and took a step in the right direction in the pass game last night. And I do believe that Travis is only getting better and better.